Welcome, everybody, to a special episode of Paranormal Saloon. I'm your host, Jay Hill, and if you could probably hear, I have a little bit of different like mood music. It's just, I don't know, I'm just trying something different, so it'll be, I don't know. We're talking about the paranormal, so it might be fitting, it might not, I don't know, but so yeah, I have a fantastic guest tonight, Jessiy Hawthorne. I've known Jessiy for some time now. She's been on a couple other one of my shows, and we've uh, hung out together in on investigations and walkthroughs and whatnot. She's a very good medium, and she's actually a very good musician as well. So, so without further ado, why don't we get her on and start chatting?
Hey,
Welcome.
thanks for having me on again. I'm excited. Dude, the
Yeah,
music's very Game
yeah.
of Thrones. I'm digging it. Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, I kind of thought it was. But but yeah, I mean, it's something different, and I just wanted to kind of try it and see what, how it sounds instead of just having a, uh bland background music,
hmm
whatever. But yeah. But yeah, so hear me out. So I've been thinking about this for probably a while now that you and I should do an investigation and walk through someplace.
Yeah.
And we both live close to Illinois, or you live in Illinois. I live like 10 minutes
Yeah.
from Illinois. So, um, God, it's just every time I see your stuff on Facebook and whatnot, it's kind of like, gosh, we need to investigate together. We need to do something together. I mean, like that one time when we were in Fox River
Yeah,
Grove, I
Fox
think it
River
was.
Grove with Jen and Larry.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And the things that we came up with on that walk was pretty cool.
hmm
You know.
Yeah, I love
So
telling that story, and then I always laugh about when Larry was in the Estes session, and we were like, okay, yeah, I think we're good. We can wake him up. And then he goes, be gentle. We were like, oh,
right.
that's so funny. He had no idea that we were going to
He
wake
had
him up,
no
or not wake
idea.
him up, but, tap him
R-
out. That
right.
was so
Right.
funny.
Right. 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 Yeah. I mean, some people don't know what the Estes method is, and it's where they kind of take away their their sight, and basically they're wearing headphones that are through a spirit box, and messages come through, and the person that is on the other side of those headphones that is asking questions, and the person that's got the blinders on and the headphones on can't hear the questions, and so it just kind of whatever comes through. So we've had some good results of that. We've used it at a couple different places. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do like the Estes method. Um, there's been a couple different um, paranormal teams that rely on that quite a
hmm
bit, which is fine, you know. So, so what's been up with you? I mean, you kind of been a little bit
I
everywhere.
know. Yeah. Last year, I did lots of expos. This year, I've been invited to do a lot of different investigations, which has been fun. And I finally got my skeptical fiance coming with me to so we went to Waverly Hills in June. He's been dying to
Right.
go there since like high school. So have I. So when I got asked to join, my friend Matt and a few of his friends, I was just like, babe, I just got invited to investigate Waverly Hills in June. And he looked at me, he's like, I'm coming with you. You're putting me in a suitcase and I'm coming with you. I was like, all right, we'll make it a trip.
Right.
So like we went to Waverly and then we stayed down. I got us like a little cottage with like a hot tub and stuff on it's like a lake resort area. Um it's called Taylorsville, which is about it's a little bit more east than where Louisville is, where Waverly is. So we stayed there for a couple days and just had, nice time together. Went to Mammoth Cave too, which that place is haunted too.
Right.
So yeah, Waverly was oh, it was very, very intense. Have you been there? I can't remember.
No, I haven't. I've been invited, and I was thinking about going because the group that I'm with from Tennessee is K2
Oh,
Paranormal
yeah. Okay.
with
Okay.
Kelly Schaefer, and we just did an investigation in Felicity, Ohio, at the 1910 funeral home for uh,
Okay.
Broadwell, and so she had said that they're going to do Waverly Hills at the end of the month,
Oh.
and I've been kind of thinking about it, and I've been really like, oh my gosh, it's not that far. It's like 7 hours, but I'm like, I really want to go to Gettysburg.
Yeah, I know. That's another one.
I mean, I really, really want to. I'm like being drawn to Gettysburg for some reason.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, so I've never been to Waverly, and I've had my reservations of it. I don't know for sure. I don't really know what to really think about it. I mean, for us being who
Yeah.
we are, and I'm afraid that it's going to be sensory overload.
Um, the
You know what I
4th
mean?
floor was for me, like, I mean, I made sure I did no research, I didn't watch any shows, I just knew, like, what I know from because like, I haven't, I watched stuff a long time ago, but none of it, like, stuck, so I know the few things, like, room 502 had a nurse that, supposedly killed herself, and then, I know the 4th floor is where shadows are seen, and then obviously there's the death tunnel. And then there's a little boy named
Hmm.
Timmy. Pretty much that's what I went there knowing. And I made sure not to
Right.
research at all. So I won't say too much if you do go. After you go, I will spill my guts. But you and I both are the same. We don't like too much interference, if you want to put it that way. So like
Right. 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 Not too much
yeah. So
information.
I
Yeah.
the
I
most
got you.
I think that so far since I opened up and started exploring my gifts, the most intense thing was Waverly on the 4th floor. I wasn't yeah, I
Really.
was not planning on going up there and, like, being scared or, I wanted when am I gonna get to do this again? So I'm like, "Alright, we're gonna explore everything." As soon as I opened the door to the 4th floor, my stomach dropped to my feet, and I was like, "Whoa." You could feel the energy. And when
Hmm.
Steve's like, "Come on, babe, come on, we're going," and I'm like, "Whew, okay," I'm like, got the courage, and I walked down the floor. As soon as I walked down that floor, I was uncontrollably crying. Like, I
Really.
was bawling, like, I just watched my mom die in front of me bawling, like, the most
Wow.
despair, sorrow that I've never felt in my life. I just felt it just whoosh, and I was like, "Okay,
Hmm.
back up, please back up. I can't function," and it wasn't letting up, so I walked off the floor, went back into the hallway, and it subsided a little bit, and I'm like, "Okay, so that's how this floor is. Noted." I went
Right.
back,
Right.
and sure
Right.
enough, same thing happened. I was just bawling my eyes out, and Steve's like, "Babe, you're freaking me out." I'm like, why do I don't have here's more proof for you, babe, because he's a skeptic. I'm like, "Why would I
Right.
be crying right now? I'm happy, I'm excited, I can't believe we're finally here, I'm with you. Why would I be crying right now? Why would I feel this?" And he's like, I don't know." And I'm like, "Exactly." So, like, I
Yeah.
walked out to the balcony part. I don't really know what to call it, where they had everybody, in the cots and stuff with the tuberculosis. I walked out to that area
Hmm.
and it lit up, but anytime I was in the hallway where all the rooms were, it was like that
Hmm.
despair feeling, and I had to keep saying, "Okay, ease up a little bit. I understand you've been through a lot." It's almost like that floor has its own energy and its own personality. It wasn't just a
Hmm.
couple like, I was asking, like, "What's your name?" "Who are you?" Asking questions, and I wasn't getting anything. It was just, like, that floor's presence. It's hard to
Hmm.
explain, but, yeah, that was the most profound experience that I've had since I've opened my gifts up a little bit.
Right.
And then I did pick up on
Right.
some stuff that two other psychics that were there picked up on, and we weren't around each other. Me and Steve, this is why it was so fun because it was literally free for all. We paid to go,
Hmm.
and my friend was just like, "Yep, you can go do whatever." And Steve's like, "We can explore this whole thing, just me and you. Like, there's no group." I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, and he got so excited. So yeah, we were running around, just me and him, like, and there was only 13 people there, so it wasn't like 50 people where you're gonna run into people. We rarely ran into anybody. And
Right.
my friend had like a podcast, like two different podcasts where we all got together and talked about what we experienced. And these other two psychics were talking about stuff that they picked up. And oh my
Right.
God, I picked that up too. Or there was this one time on the fifth floor where I kept hearing this name, and they're like, "Oh, that makes sense because of XYZ." And I'm like, "Oh
Right.
my God,
Right.
this is cool."
Right. Right. Now, you've been through, um, since you live in Illinois. What would you say that you've been through some of the best haunted locations in Illinois?
Honestly, the little places that you don't think about. Like well-known places. Um, the Joliet prison was where the first time I
Hmm.
saw like well, it was my first big investigation because I ghost hunted when I was young, going to cemeteries and abandoned
Hmm.
buildings. But like I was there with like Dave Schrader and Shane Pittman because I didn't know that was a
Hmm.
thing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I went to Joliet with them. That was the first time that I saw a shadow person, not the menacing ones I saw when I was younger at that property I grew up on. It was, the people that were there, like, they were they regular size, if that makes any sense. And like I saw one like
Hmm.
peer over the catwalk at us, and then I saw I got on camera. I have a laser grid, and you saw like knees down, two like feet just like kind of walk on the catwalk when you can't go up there because there's no catwalk up there.
Hmm.
So I had some really
Right.
cool experiences at Joliet. I'm trying to think anywhere else that's known. Bachelor's Grove was not active. It was very peaceful. I could have napped there. So like it's always funny hearing the stories of the horrible, crazy, evil Bachelor's Grove. And I went there and it was like, it's not, the woods are
Yeah.
haunted, the cemetery, not so
Right.
much.
Right.
So that was
do
kind of cool.
you do you think that the the conversations that a lot of people have, start with the rumors and start with the legends and all this
Hmm.
other stuff, and you know, I think that a lot of that. Would you agree that a lot of that stuff gets really blown out of
Oh
proportion
yeah,
to the point where
100%.
it's like
Like,
it overshadows
yeah.
it overshadows the truth?
So I'm sure, well, if anybody looks up the Madonna photo from Bachelor's Grove, it's the most famous photo. I know the person that took that, where she's
Okay.
sitting on like this gravestone, and you can see this one gravestone on the side, and there's like a tree, and it it was in like 1991, so it was before Photoshop was a thing. And it was this woman just sitting
Right.
there with like, I think, short brown hair and like a dress. I know the person that took that photo.
Hmm.
So that
Okay.
was interesting, seeing that in person. And it's a lot, Bachelor's Grove is a lot
Hmm.
smaller than you would think. Like me and Steve both were like, well, again, he found out I was going to Bachelor's Grove. I'm coming with you. I've always wanted to go there. Okay. He actually did an Estes session there. Yeah,
Really?
I was like, "Wow, I'm proud of you," because like, I did one, and then, my friend Ed from, oh, yeah, I think you know Ed Levin from Spire, they're up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there with him and Chrissy.
Okay.
Ed was like, "Anybody else wanna put the headphones on?" And Chrissy was like, "I don't think they're gonna talk to me right now. Maybe Jessiy, if she wants to do it again." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it again." And Steve's like, "I'll do it." And we all like looked at him like, "What?" He was like, "That was really
Yeah.
weird."
Hmm. Now, I live so close to Chicago. I have a kind of a thing with like 1920s and 30s mobsters. Okay, so
Okay.
we have a lot of ties up here where I live, and
Oh.
the history for the history in Lake Geneva is, with the mob and Lake Como and even Delvin Lake. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So there's I would always I would always wonder, is there a place down in Illinois that would be like spiritually connected, like to the mobsters down there? Do you know of any place
I know there's a lot of
besides the Congress? And I know that,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, the Congress, and then there's oh, what's it called? I think it's called the Irish Legend. It's in Willow Springs.
Okay,
I just found out about this place, and from my friends, not rumors, but people I know, they've had really interesting experiences there because there was mob activity at this place. So it was like
okay.
an Irish bar restaurant that I believe they had stuff to do with like prohibition stuff, I
Hmm.
think. And I know Al Capone was there. I don't know what he did. I don't know too much because I haven't investigated yet, so I haven't done too
Right.
much research. But I do
Okay.
know that that is another place that's known for like the mob activity. I think it is called the Irish Legend, and it's in Willow Springs. I've driven past it. I just haven't been there yet.
So where is Willow Springs?
It is okay. So I'm Schaumburg, so it's
Okay.
about 40 minutes south. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up on my phone really quick, see if I can find another town that's yeah, Willow Springs.
Because I'm straight
Okay.
north of McHenry.
Yeah. So it's off of 294 and like 83. It's kind of southwest of Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really, really pretty area. Like you could feel the energy in the area. Like it's very hilly. There's like a river and stuff too. And it's
Okay.
got a lot of energy just to the town, to the area itself.
Okay, so
It's
when
really
you
cool.
get a little bit more information, and if you ever plan on going there to investigate, you have to invite me because
Yeah, for sure. Well,
because yeah.
they do investigations. I think it people I think one of my friends is hosting one, but you can also go there and just have a beer or have food. Like it's
Hmm.
an open business that
Hmm.
does paranormal stuff every now and then.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we could always meet up there. I don't drink, but if you want to have a beer and I'll get some mozzarella sticks or something.
No, actually I don't drink anymore either.
Oh,
So
you don't? Okay. Yay,
no,
somebody else.
no, no. So yeah, not that I miss it. I don't miss it because I do,
Same.
but I just it's not part of who I am anymore. You know.
Yeah, I noticed that. So, like, well, the very first time we talked, that was the first time I, became out of the paranormal closet. That's what I've been calling it. 'Cause it's hilarious.
Right. Right. Right.
I didn't realize that the reason that I was drinking all the time was because of all the psychic empathic stuff I was dealing with. I
Hmm.
I didn't know that that's not my depression, that's not my anger that I was feeling. So I would
Right.
drink, be like, "Well, I'm depressed, and maybe this will help," or "I'm pissed off, maybe this
Yep.
will
Yep.
help."
I was the same way. I
Yep.
was my alcohol was to drown my gifts away,
Yep. Yep.
and knowing that I had them already, but I just didn't want to. I was having more fun drinking than accepting life on life's terms, pretty much.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Well, I
But yeah.
accidentally stopped drinking back in 2018, so it's been like 7 years, I think, because I got hurt at my job and
It's yeah.
yeah, I was on pain medication, and Steve was DJing and he did fire performing stuff, so we were always at a bar all the time. And so I would
Hmm.
drink and I'd be like, "Oh god, why am I hurting so bad? This sucks. Why are the pain pills not helping?" And then I come to find out, oh, pain pills and alcohol, it kind of nulls it. So I was like, "All right, I'm not going to drink and see what happens." I stopped drinking, and didn't have the issue, and then I realized how much I enjoyed not drinking, and I'm like,
Right.
I
Right.
feel more clear-headed, I'm not having mood problems anymore, I'm not depressed, like, I got better after stopping alcohol. That's why it's like people are like, "Oh, just this once. Do you want a beer?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good. I don't want to put that in my
Right.
body
Right.
anymore."
Right. Right. Yeah. It's trying to be centered to
Yeah.
yourself, and centering yourself and realizing that that was kind of like a
Yep.
numbing agent, especially for me. But it's been since
Oh,
2013 for
wow.
me.
Okay. Nice.
You know, but yeah. So it's just one of those things where um, I've always believed in keeping my faculties, sharp in that sense of trying to not dull
Yep.
or mask
Yep.
or whatever. And there's other people out there that say, oh, and then they smoke pot all the time, and they say they can't function without it. And I was never like that. I was never, when I was growing up and I would like smoke pot or would do whatever, it was kind of like I hated that feeling
Same.
because
Yeah.
it made me
Yeah.
disconnected. It made me feel
Yeah.
dumb. I
That's why
mean, it just
I don't smoke.
I you know I mean, it made me feel like I just like I checked out, and I didn't like that.
Yep.
I like I had to be present. But when I would drink, I would make sure that I was still present, but having a good time being in present. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yep.
But marijuana was completely different. I mean, that was like I smoked that, and it was like, yep. My brain said I'm
Yep.
out of here, and I'd be like, yep. I was like, nope. And so I was never a big fan of
That's
that.
how my fiance is.
And
He's a pothead, and like he quit for a little bit
hmm
during 2020 because he wasn't sure if he
hmm
was going to have a job, after everything stopped.
right.
So he quit for a little bit, and honestly, I, he, I'm trying to think how to word this right. His energy was clearer and easier to read for me. So I liked that he was
hmm
sober. It's weird. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but like I mean, he was pretty much the same person. Cause that's what I was wondering. I'm like, oh great, are you gonna change on me now? But he was the same
hmm
person. He was just really easy. He was easier to pick up stuff. Oh, you'll get a kick out of this. So have you ever heard about when people date people like us? They start getting abilities. Have you heard that before?
Yeah. What happens is it's the frequency that comes out, and if that person that you're with, if their frequency matches yours or is like open to that, it kind of opens that up a
Mm-hmm.
little. I've ran into that before, and but the person kind of like ran in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
but most of the people that I talk to, or that I even just became friends with, that are even male friends, that
Mm-hmm.
they didn't realize that they had gifts, and they kind of were open, more open to it, and they were like, why is this happening? It's like, oh, I guess it's time for you to kind of explore that, and what is the deal?
Yeah. Because I've
So,
felt that Steve's had abilities for a while, and
hmm
he brought it up yesterday. So, this past weekend I didn't have I'm busy a lot on Saturdays and
yeah,
Sundays doing
right, right,
investigations and expos. So I didn't have
right,
anything to do this weekend. I'm like, "Oh, we can relax at home, watch movies or whatever." And his energy was off. He was like, "I don't know. I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I don't know. I just feel off. I don't know why. I feel off." And I could sense it like
hmm
something was up, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
right.
So it started halfway through Saturday and lasted Sunday. Well, Monday, he found out that his mom fell probably on Friday or early Saturday, and she was literally on the floor until yesterday morning because he went there
Oh
to check
wow.
on her and found her like that. And he
Okay.
looked at me yesterday and was like, I think this is why I was off. I don't know why, but like now that, I'm back home from, the hospital with her and everything, I feel like me again. But Saturday and Sunday I felt off. Like, I don't know, maybe I knew something was wrong and I'm like, yeah, 100%. There's a lot of times where I feel just off and I don't know why or where it's coming from, and then something will or will not happen, and then it's
Hmm.
gone. And it's like, "Oh,
Right.
that's why I felt weird." He goes, "Really? Do you think I'm getting, like, some psychic shit?" And I'm like, "You're dating me, so possibly?"
Possibly. Yeah, a lot of that, especially with his situation with his mother, because of the fact that depending on the bond that they have, and that bond is strengthened, the frequency that is the light force, the light force that is going between them, or how bright that is.
Yeah.
It's like an arc. It's an arc of light. If that is really bright, continuous bright, where they're close, and that he could pick up on certain emotional states that his mother was in, or even a sibling or somebody like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
depending on how that connection is, or how big that connection is, how bright that connection is, because I've noticed it too with other people, where there's been people that I've became friends with that have put their trust in me or whatnot, and um, they come to me and ask for things, or that I'll know, what are you doing? You're doing something paranormal. I could sense it, and so yeah, it's depends on that connection, and that
Yeah.
connection evidently with him and his mom is pretty strong. So, and that's a normal thing, because everything as you know, and I know that
Mhm.
it's energy and frequencies.
Yep.
You know, all that is just, that matter is just pure energy. So,
Mhm.
you know, now have you've gone into, do you like you're aware of your gifts like I am. So is it easy for you to go now, I guess, compared to a couple years ago, where now you can go into a building and automatically your radar goes up and it's like, oh yeah, there's something
Yeah,
here? Or is it
if there's
something
if
that you,
there's energy,
yeah.
I can pick it up for sure. And I'm still learning, like, how to expand it and broaden it, as well as, like, picking up stuff, because there's times where just stuff just pops in my head and I'm like, "Oh." And then there's
Right,
times where I'm, like, sitting there, like, trying to get something and nothing comes.
right,
So it just
right,
kinda depends. Like,
right.
when you and I were in Fox River Grove, like, that one day, we're just, like, walking, and it was just so
Hmm.
funny because, like, I heard horses, and I heard the word, like, horses in my head, and I'm like, "The fuck?" And I went to look to you to tell you what I just heard, like, in my head and with my ears, and you looked at me, you're like, Are you hearing horse hooves? Like, I hear horse hooves." And I'm like, "What?"
Right, right. So that was a good connection, and that spot right there, that was intense too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
that was
I did
fun.
want to say, because of the fact that you just talked about where things just pop in your head. Those are, they're kind of like fleeting moments, but if it I'll tell you what, if it's just something that pops in your head and then you forget about it, it doesn't really matter. That's exactly it. It's inconsequential. But if
Mhm.
something that pops in your head, remember this. If something that pops in your head like that and sticks and doesn't leave, I think it's like more than 5 minutes or something like that. If it
Mhm.
sticks there and you can't stop thinking of it, there's a reason. So
Oh, okay.
then you can kind of like, okay, why is this stuck here? Why didn't this just fall off the table like every other
Yeah.
random thought does? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when you go to another spot and you're trying to connect, or you're trying to get information, the best thing I can tell you is that, and I think you're a lot like me in that sense, where information just gets thrown at you. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So when you try too hard to find that information, you're not going to get it, because it's going to be
Okay.
very elusive. So if you are meant to hear it or see it, you'll get it. And if it's meant to stick with you for a certain reason, and it does stick to you and you can't forget it,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. This was not one of my favorite examples. Let me tell you. I'm serious. This was awful. So, I live in Wisconsin. Okay. So, one morning I woke up and the serial killer came into my mind.
Mhm.
Now I was sleeping and I woke up to get up for the morning. It was like on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking about this individual at all or ever because I don't care for serial killer stories. I'm not a
Okay, I
true
know who you're talking about.
I'm not a true crime person. I'm not, it just for some reason that's that's an energy that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking of this individual, or this individual was thinking of me, or something, but there was a
Mhm.
connection. And I'm like, why am I thinking of this person? So I just dismissed it. It didn't leave me for 2 days.
Oh god. Wow.
Now, that itself is disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried everything to just not ignore it, not, that's not something happened previously where that individual or that spirit was basically connected with somebody that I was talking to. And
Oh.
that I had to go back and do some research and be like, why did this happen? And that person, loved the story of this serial killer and all this other stuff. It was kind of like gloating. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't gloat about that. And
Right.
after that conversation, the next day, that person came to me and be like, "Hey," and I'm like, "No, go away, no." So yeah, and it was very disturbing. So that's when you know that if something sticks with you and you can't stop thinking about it, there's a reason. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now there's a difference between worrying about something or having a random thought come into your brain that you're like, why am I thinking of that? And it doesn't go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know the
Mhm.
difference. There's worry. I'm worried about this person. I keep thinking about this person. You know what I mean? That's different. That's a different level of
Yeah,
emotion.
it's a different type of feeling. Yeah.
Right, right. So yeah, so I've had a few other experiences like that, but I've also been connected with people enough to where this person I used to do investigations with, um, I would get messages of places the night before,
Mhm.
and then I would talk to him next day and say, "Are you working on something? Are you going?" "Oh yeah, I was going to tell you we're gonna go someplace," and because he knows not to
Yeah.
tell me, and that's why I would describe to him what I was seeing. He's like, "Yeah, that's where we're going." I'm like, "Okay." So that hasn't happened in a while, but I mean, just because, but it was kind of cool when it did happen. I was like, oh, I would get visions right before
Mhm.
bed and all the, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so always pay attention. Those fleeting thoughts that you have, it's kind of like, it's, picture it this way. You throw a glass down the bar and it slides all the way to the end and falls off. Or you slide it all the way down and it stops just right before the
Mhm.
edge and it stays there. That's the kind of way your thoughts, the way you should think of your
Okay,
thoughts.
yeah.
You know what I
No, that
mean?
makes sense.
Yeah. Especially for somebody like us, who's has the abilities of being psychic
Yeah.
mediums or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean it's really kind of crazy that, and that it's why I like talking with you, because of the fact that we have that same wavelength.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That same connection of the spiritual side of
Mhm.
it. You know what I mean? So we kind of have that same magnetic energy for that, the
I
spiritualism,
remember
and
when
all that.
right after the first time I was on your show, um, I was at work and I remember I was getting like really bad panic attacks, and it turned out that my coworker that was next to me was having like the relationship issues. 'Cause I remember I messaged you. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. How can I
Yeah,
fix this? Because I can't concentrate.
Right,
I've gotten
right,
better at like pushing
right.
out what's not
Sometimes
mine.
when you're open, yeah, but sometimes when you're open like that, and it's kind of like you forget to
Yep.
close the door. It's like a cold draft would come in and it's like, why is it
Yep.
cold in here? Oh shit, I forgot. You know what I mean? Forgot to close the door. Same way with emotional, like emotional
Oh yeah,
vampires. You
100%.
know, people out there that will just bleed you dry of your energy because they need something to feed off of because they need to tell their story. They need to feel
Yep.
better. You know
Yep.
what I mean? But yeah, so I'm always kind of open that way, but I pretty much can block it off and kind of close it down when I have to.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm open. The lower vibrations I can block out, but the higher ones, I'm
Yeah.
always open.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm still learning to
So
filter better. I've been doing like a little I don't want to, not really a ceremony, but like a protection thingy every morning now because there's
yep,
somebody at my
yep,
work that ever since I started, she's had it out for me. She's always been crappy to me, always makes me feel like crap. And
mm-hmm.
last Monday, um, she actually made me cry. So I was like,
Oh,
okay, I need to do something. And I talked to a couple of my friends, and so now I have like a little bubble up, and and I pretty much say, any negativity or negative energy you throw at me bounces off of me and goes back to you, type of thing.
yep,
Well,
right,
and
right,
it's
right,
been helping a lot. I haven't been having panic attacks at work anymore.
right. And that is, but that's also a
Mhm.
teachable moment. You know what I mean? That's a learnable moment where you just, you know, I do that every morning. I have to protect myself and guide
Mhm.
myself all that because I made that mistake when I first started out years ago and been jumped by a
Oh
navigator
yeah. Yep.
when I wasn't protected. So yeah, and I think everybody
Oh
should
yeah,
be.
no, it's true. Like when now since Steve's coming on investigations with me, I have a piece of tourmaline and I have him
Mm,
hold on to
yep.
it. I'm like, "All right, you're going to hold this in your hand and think about a white bubble around you." Yeah, so like
Yep.
I kind of
Yep.
walk him through it and he's like, "Okay, are you done?" And I'm like, "Put it in your pocket." And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah. Right. Right. As silly as it may sound to some people, tourmaline is a very protective black. It's like black onyx. It's a stone that you can get at a rock shop or
Yep.
someplace like what I mean. That has protective properties. I have two in
I
my
do too.
car, and I have and when I would wear my leather jackets before I got rid of my leather jacket, I always had one in
Yep.
my pocket.
Yeah, I have
You know what I
a
mean?
piece that I
And
wear with a Saint Michael the Archangel medal and a Benedict medal. So that's like my protection
right,
necklace. And whenever I have it on, like
right,
nothing bad happens or anything like that. But I'm learning to
right,
again have my protectiveness like bubble up, but letting certain things in so I don't just block everything out because I'm still trying to learn
right,
my gifts
right.
and get stronger. And I know the more I do investigations, the stronger it's been. Like me and Steve were just down in Watsika, which Watsika has this house called the Roth House, and it's the
Mhm.
first documented possession case in the country. So it has a really
Yeah.
interesting history. But we also investigated the original courthouse. Um, and Steve actually bought me dowsing rods at Waverly Hills, and those things are attuned to me. Holy cow, do I get like
Yeah.
really good answers and really quickly too. So I would hold the dowsing rods, and one of my friends would ask questions and stuff. And there were times where
Right.
like I'm like, there's nothing here anymore. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, let's go this way. And I'm like, okay, there's energy this way, or let's go in this room. There's energy over here. So I'm able to find the energy like really good right now without using equipment or anything. I know where it's at. It's like, hey, ghost, I'm
Mhm.
stalking you. Sorry.
Right. 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 Yeah. I think I still have a pair. Um.
Well, like
They do nothing
what you
for me.
said on when you were on Tinfoil Tales, you're like, I'm the best equipment. It's like I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are the
right.
best equipment.
Yeah, 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 right. And I do not, even when I've tried to use them, I've gotten nothing.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And it's almost like they're saying, "Why do you need those?"
Right.
Why do you? It's like so. Um, Not to say that they don't work. I don't know. Same with like tarot cards. I don't do tarot.
Yeah.
I don't, do any of that. You know what I mean? I get direct
Mhm.
messages. You know what I mean? I get direct conversations. But it's just the way it
Yeah.
is. And especially if I let myself go, like let life really, run me down or whatnot, I'm engulfed in reality instead of where I should be, separating myself into the spiritual side or standing in my yard without my shoes on and to ground myself or hugging a tree
Yeah.
or, you know, doing things like that that kind of keep me centered,
Mhm.
and I'm getting better at it, but sometimes being as emotional as I am, my boss just called me. He's like, why are you so emotional? Have you met me? I'm like, "Do you know who I am?" He
Yep.
knows. He's not sure that he believes in all
Mhm.
that, but he knows about grounding himself. So he's not too far driven away from that either. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it freaks him out because I know that there's spirits in our building
Yeah,
too,
I remember listening to you
and
talk about that.
yeah, so yeah, so but it freaks him out. But there's people that just people who don't understand the spiritual side of the world and whatnot are afraid of it,
Yeah.
and they run from it
Yeah.
or they condemn it because they think it's evil
Mhm.
and they think it's like I have a great relationship with Christ. I have a great relationship with angels. I have, you know what I mean? I think of the love and light. I don't, I'm not what the world would say that I
Mhm.
am. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and it's coming out of that proverbial closet. I mean, seriously. I mean, yeah, you're kind of shunned for being who you
Yep.
are, and that's never been easy. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But for anybody that's listening that hears this, you know, always be true to yourself and be as genuine as you can to yourself. Be your true self. Don't let the world or somebody else tell you something you can't be something that you know that you are.
Mhm.
And I think that it came down to when even when you were playing music in that band, and I thought that was fantastic that the music that you were doing and this and that. And then when you were getting into, I had you on my show. I've had you on now. This will be the third different podcast I've had.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know what I mean? Because before the very first one was when you were still playing
Yep.
music.
Before I had a
Yeah.
camera and I was talking to you
And
on my phone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I knew that there was something about you then,
Mhm.
and you weren't quite there yet.
Yeah. I was
You know what I
coming out of
mean?
the
But
paranormal closet and trying to figure things out.
you right. And now look
Mhm.
at you. I mean, you've got a great network of people that loves you and talk to you and like to hang out with you and whatnot. And that's what it's
Mhm.
about. It's about community.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
about the beautiful community and hanging out with people and
I've met so many awesome
getting to hear
people
these stories.
since the first time I
Yeah,
talked to you, and, like, I remember telling you
right.
how, I went to, like, Chris's pop-up Paracon, and I'm like, "Oh, I wanna do, like how do I get on a podcast, or how do I do that?" And, you just reached out to me,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "What?" And then I'm like, "I wonder how I can do expo."
Was that your first
Yeah,
one?
that was my first one was with you.
I, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but I've given a lot of people their first times on
Yeah,
podcasts.
that's cool.
And they're always like thanking me, and it's like I just wanted you on as a
Mhm.
guest, and I really don't. I was kind of curious. I think a lot of it had to do was because the music that you were playing, and um, you were you were kind of into the paranormal, but I was like, you know what, that would be a really cool person to interview, and it was, and then you realize that that was your first
Yeah.
podcast that you were on, and now look at you, you're like a seasoned pro.
I know, it's
You know,
crazy. Like,
it is
and so,
crazy.
yeah, it was, like, end of November when you interviewed me the first time, and then, I think it was, like, sometime in December, I was literally thinking to myself, "Oh, I wonder how do I, like, do expos? Like, how would I work at an expo?" And then Larry contacted me. He's like, "Hey, so, um, I have an expo in February in Wisconsin. You're the only Reiki person I know. Would you be open to doing it?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?" And I'm like, "Thank you, universe." And then it's just been like, I guess you could say uphill since then, doing all the different expos, and now I'm
right,
investigating because this is what I'm
right.
supposed to be doing. Like, I love the music. I do miss it, but the paranormal's
Hmm.
more of a passion for me because I could sit here all day and
Right.
talk about it, and like the more
Hmm.
that I'm opening up about it, the more the universe is clearing the way, I guess you could say. And I didn't mean to rhyme.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, I always give people this advice too: is the best way to continue to be blessed just to get out of your own way.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, and which I don't practice. I'm in my way all the freaking time. I'm not kidding. I will throw myself in front of myself to block whatever just because of that's just my nature. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
I'm a saboteur of myself. So
Oh,
I
okay.
am
So
I'm a very hardcore. I'm very hard on myself. I'm my
yeah,
worst
I think a
critic.
lot of people are. I'm my worst critic too, because like some of the stuff that I was quote unquote picking up at Waverly Hills, I was like, I don't know, that's
Right,
weird. And then it turns
right,
out I was right, and I'm like, what? Like,
yeah,
wow, that's some validation. I didn't think that was anything, but it was obviously a lot. That's interesting.
right. So I've come to the point now where I've had to go through that, and I still go through that every once in a while, where it's like, okay, am I really seeing this, or am I really hearing this, or whatever? And I
Hmm.
have to look really deep into saying, if you can trust it, trust yourself, and
Yep.
if you trust yourself, then whatever comes out comes out. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I have to, and once I dig deep down inside there, and I have to think about, did I really hear or see that, or hear that phrase or that name, or you have to learn to trust yourself. You have to
Yep.
learn to trust your instincts enough to where you can keep that doubt out of there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Close that door and keep that doubt. Doubt is going to creep in every once in a while. That's
Oh
normal.
yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? But if you can seriously just, like I said, get out of your own way.
There was I won't say where this was at Waverly, but I was getting pretty tired, bless you, pretty tired
Right?
because we woke up at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, drove down to the Airbnb. I didn't realize we were going to be in a different time zone.
Mm-hmm.
So my plan got screwed up because I'm like, oh, we'll have 3 investigation. It's like, oh, nope, we didn't get to now. It was like 1:32 in the morning. I'm getting tired. There's a chair out on the balcony portion of the floor I was on. So I went and sat down. I'm like, ah, babe, I need to rest. I'm exhausted. And I've been having really bad back issues. So I needed to rest. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go explore. And I'm like, okay, just please stay in eyesight or ear sight or so I could hear you. And he's like,
Right.
okay. And I'm just sitting there. I got a REM pod going just in case, and I'm, seeing if I feel anything. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw this, well, child size misty thing just form. And then I looked at
Uh-huh.
it, and then it poof, it went away. And I'm like, am I just tired? Did I just
Right.
see that? I don't know. Well, when I went inside, the room that I saw that figure in front of had toys in it,
Oh.
like children's toys. And I was
Right.
like,
Right.
I didn't know this was here. So that wasn't my brain freaking itself out. I
Right.
I
Right.
I did see that, and it was right in front of that room where there's toys. Like,
Right.
holy crap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of where it's at too. Is when you get to that point where you can get validation after validation after validation,
Yeah.
but how many times is it going to take before you realize to trust yourself? Say,
Yeah.
okay, I did see that. I know I saw that. You can question it in a way where you could try to debunk it,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily have to initially doubt yourself.
Yeah. Think
You know
that
what
like, oh, I'm
I
making
mean?
it up. That's not real
Right,
or anything
right,
like
right,
that. Yeah.
right. Oh yeah, I mean, I still go through that. Not as much as I used to, but I still do every once in a while. But
That's
I
why
will
like
question. I'll be
the
like, did I
horse
really see that?
the horse
You
hoof
know?
incident was awesome validation for
Mhm.
me and you because we both like
Right,
looked at each other and like said the same thing at the
right.
same time.
Yeah. So that was
I love that.
that was proof right there.
Mhm.
Okay, because I was hearing those hoofs,
Mhm.
and my instinct right away you, and all of a sudden it was just I saw the carriage there, and I saw the whole 9 yards, and yeah. But when you had said that too, about the horses, it was like, okay, different energies in that church.
Oh yeah.
A lot of it was a little conflicting because there was a lot of people that were
Mhm.
on that tour that were, I wouldn't say doubters, but not in it for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was hard for me to get information because not only do you feel like you're on the spotlight because you're standing on the stage,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But you've got all these eyes on you, and that can be a little intimidating in itself. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
therefore, you're almost already putting a blanket over yourself to try to hide yourself because it's you don't want to be seen that way. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
that's to in order to put yourself out there, you've got to do that enough to feel comfortable so that you don't feel that way. You know,
Yeah.
and that can go with anything. That can go with musicians, speakers, you know, people, kids in school. You know, don't be afraid to be seen.
Mhm.
You know, and that's even normal adults, don't be afraid to be seen. You don't have to hide behind everything. You can be your genuine self and just you know it's just yeah I tell people that all the time. It's like just you don't have to worry about
Yeah. What
being
other
in the
people
spotlight.
think. I was lucky and my mom brought me up to be myself. Like
Yeah,
be yourself, no apologies and everything, even if people think it's weird. And so I was
right.
lucky in that aspect. So I grew up not really caring what people thought or not. The only time that I ever feel awkward is like, you know, when you're on stage and there's a bunch of people like waiting for you to give
To make a
information.
mistake or make a
Yeah.
mistake.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
oh.
Right. That and even when you were a musician, I mean, being up there, I mean, you didn't want to, you know, have a
Didn't wanna
bad
mess
note
up and
or
then be embarrassed.
right, 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 right. And a lot of it is, at those moments, those are fleeting moments. Those aren't long-lasting moments. The only
Mhm.
person that's going to let them be long-lasting moments is you.
Yep.
Because I guarantee the person that says that or sees that down the line isn't going to give two shits about what you
Right.
did on a stage 2 days ago and it was embarrassing. It was
Yeah.
like a one and done. You know what I mean? So there's different
Mhm.
ways to think about it. And I've never had that problem of being on a stage in front of people.
Yeah,
Like I
I
said,
love I love
yeah,
it.
the only good grades I got in high school were from my speech classes.
Yeah,
You know,
same with me, like English
yeah,
English and speech, everything else, not
yeah,
so much. And then band and chorus,
yeah.
of course.
I could give two cares about everything else. Yep. Yep.
Um,
So
so
yeah,
I
I
I
mean,
do, have to bring this up. So, we talked November end of November 2023. That was the first time you had me on.
hmm
So I was talking about the house I grew up in and everything, and how I think I told you how in there was a the town group on Facebook. I saw a picture of the property and somebody literally said, "Does anybody know what's going on with this property? Because it's really becoming an eyesore. It's been like this for over a decade." I
Mhm.
screenshot that. Thank God, because somebody removed it because the house I well, they destroyed the house I grew up in. They're rebuilding it, making it a two-story, and it's got no siding, there's no walls in there. It's literally in the middle of being built. And we that house got foreclosed on in 2012. So it's still like that. So somebody posted about that in the group. Well, I became friends with this documentary filmmaker, and he was going to do a series on Amazon called Haunted Tales.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Hey, I have a lot of stories." And he's like, "Okay." And I gave him little rundowns of experiences, and he's like, "Call me after you get off of work." And I'm like, "Okay." So I called him and we talked for like an hour and a half. And he's like, "Jessiy, I'm going to be honest. I can't put you into a 15-minute episode. You need to have a whole film about you." And I
Right,
was like,
right, right, right.
"Yeah, I know." And he was like, do you know where, like, can you go on that property?" I was like, "I mean, I have in the past. I don't know who owns it or anything, but I mean, I'll see if I can find out." He goes, "Yeah, see if you can find out who owns the house. Maybe we could, investigate there and film there." And I'm like, "Okay." And I still kind of have a fear of that property, and I'm trying to make sure that is watched before I go back, and especially because of what I'm gonna tell you right now. So, in December of last year, I started, I don't know, getting a really, really, like, a bug up my ass to find out who owned the property. So, I made an account on this, like, city clerk thingy, and I found out who owned the property. And I looked on something told me to look on Facebook. I did, and sure enough, I'm friends with the person on Facebook. And I'm like, "What? We've never interesting. Okay, we've never interacted on Facebook though, like ever. I've never seen his name pop up." So this was like about a week before Christmas. So Christmas came, and I did my whole Happy Christmas, everybody, safe travels, have a great day. And then he commented, "Merry Christmas, Jessiy," and I'm like, okay, weird. I just found out who you were a week ago. I haven't even messaged you yet. We've never interacted on Facebook, and you're commenting on my post now after I put some pieces together. That's okay, interesting." And I didn't have the balls to message him yet until about mid to end of January this year. So after some time and talking back and forth with my friend, I'm like, "Okay, so I know who the owner is. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Here's what just happened." He goes, "Have you messaged him yet?" And I'm like, "No." And he goes, "You should." And I'm like, "I should." So I didn't know how he was gonna feel about anything. So I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna say that, I live there. My dad passed away in the driveway. Would it be okay if I come by every now and then?" Like, kinda talk a little bit like that. And he was, "Hey, Jessiy, how's it going? I you and I went to school together. I don't know if you remember." And I'm like, "Oh, I remember." I remember. And he said that he added me on Facebook a little bit over a year ago because he saw that I was into spiritualist stuff and into energy and all of that. And he's into that. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then he proceeds to tell me that he doesn't know why, but for the past year, he hasn't been able to get me out of his head. And I'm like,
What was that? Wait, 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 wait. What was that?
for the past year, so literally since I have been talking about this property
Uh-huh.
and my past, the current owner has not been able to get me out of his head. Literally, he said December-ish of 2023. We talked November 2023. And
Oh.
that's when I started talking about all this stuff. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know why. I couldn't get you out. I haven't been able to get you out of my head. Like, I've been wanting to message you and everything." And I'm like, "What the hell?" and he said that I was like, okay, so you added me because you saw that I do Reiki and I'm into spiritual stuff. He goes, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. What do you think about paranormal activity stuff? Because I've had a lot of experiences there. Oh yeah, stuff happens at the property all the time. I get growled at a lot. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
nice.
And he's like, "Yeah, I just growl back at it, but yeah, I think sense your dad there every now and then," which I don't know about that because I mean, my dad's around me all the time. He's been coming through at investigations a lot, which has been
Right.
cool. I
Right.
don't think he would hang out at that property, especially since we don't live there. So I'm like, well, what is he sensing that he thinks is my dad that's not my dad? But it's just crazy to me that ever since I've been open about this property and talking about it, the current owner has not been able to get me out of his head. Like, that's really weird. And when I was talking to Brandon, he goes, I don't know, Jess. Like that's a little much. I don't know if I would go back to that property if I were you because it seems like it's trying to call you back. And I'm like,
Right.
that's kind of how I've been feeling. Like I've been drawn to go back there. I mean, my
Right.
reason is to close that chapter, like to get over the fear. Yes, these things happened. They were traumatic, but I'm over it. I've grown from it. I'm the person I am
Right.
because of there. So I need to close the chapter. But it's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting to me of how all of that correlated. Like I found out who the owner was, never talked to him before on Facebook. Then he says Merry Christmas. Okay. And then I message him and then he tells me he's been thinking about me a lot. He doesn't know why for the past year. And he added me because I'm into spiritual stuff and all of this stuff. I'm just like, this is like a freaking movie, like The Conjuring
Right.
House. What the hell?
Right. 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 Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I've been looking forward to telling you about because literally I was on your show that was the first time I talked about anything paranormal in public
Right.
was on your
Right.
show. And now it's like
Wow.
bringing this other stuff like I don't know, it's really crazy and interesting. And I am going to finish down I am going to go down the yellow brick road and do the thing, go there, close the book and everything. I just haven't done it yet cuz I want to make sure I don't have any fear cuz if I have fear, the stuff there might want to play on that. And it's like, is
Take
the
your take
proper
your take your man with you.
Oh, yeah. He
Okay.
he he came with me once. It was the first Christmas together. I was like, "Oh, I'll show
Mhm.
you where I grew up," even though, it's kinda different, and we drove past it, and I was like, "Yeah, so this is where that happened, this is where that happened," and then we drove up a little bit, and then I saw one of those big, tall, frickin' shadow things in the field, so I slammed on the gas. But, like, what's
Yeah.
interesting is, the owner has been telling me that it's been impossible to get, like, the permissions to do anything on the property, like, to finish the house up and to do all this stuff. So they actually, unfortunately, tore up a lot of the property. They got rid of a bunch of the woods that were there. We had privacy bushes, those are gone. The some of the trees my mom planted in the garden, that's all gone. So I'm wondering if the energies that are there are not happy about that and they're making it
Probably
so it's
not.
yeah, impossible for them to build. Because my family
Right.
added to it. My mom planted and took care of the land.
Hmm. Right. Right. Holy crap! It's been an hour already.
I know. I just looked too like it
Oh,
doesn't feel
holy
like that
crap!
long.
Well, I think that's we're probably at the end. I mean, we could probably do this all night, but I know that
I
I got
know.
to work in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to thank you for coming on and chat with me, and we're definitely gonna have to plan something to do, a walkthrough or investigation.
Yeah, for sure.
Once you come up with something, or you think that I would be a good fit for you to go down there, because it's not that far. Just got to let me know, and we'll put something together, and maybe I'll put it on film, and
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
edit
open to
I'll
that.
edit I'll add it to my new uh, my new production company, which it is Dark Wolf Productions. So
I
it's going to be
saw that.
nothing but paranormal videos. People can submit stuff, and people can edit whatever they want to do. And if I think it's good enough to put up, I'll put it up on the YouTube channel and this and that.
Well,
So
damn, I got 2 videos I
yeah,
gotta show you.
right. So yeah, so I mean, and that way then I can narrate some of it. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
whatever, it'll be my own, it'll be other people's, work with some other people and this and that. And once I get that page up on YouTube, then people will be able to check out Dark Wolf Productions and
cool, yeah.
everything paranormal. So yeah, but yeah. So real quick, let everybody know where they can find you.
So you can find me on my main thing is Facebook because I'm not too tech savvy. I'm learning. Jessiy Hawthorne, and my name's Jessiy. I should pop up right away. If you type in Jessiy Hawthorne, and you can contact me there for interviews or expos or questions about paranormal stuff, whatever. So get a hold of me if you'd like.
All right. Awesome. So I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. Um, and this will be up tonight actually. So everywhere you get your podcast, this will be up. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. And we will see you probably within the next week or two. I do have some new shows coming up for Paranormal Memoirs, as well as 32 with my other host. I say I have a lot of hosts, a lot of co-hosts, so I got to remember them all. But no, check out 32. That's also on Encompass Media with all my other shows. So yeah, but having said that, I want to thank everybody again. And on that note,
there are things in this world that are not always what they seem. There are also moments in time that we see, hear, and feel things we cannot explain. 32 will explore all of the aspects of what lies beyond our physical world, and maybe